Hi everyone, alongside Mike Trossel, I'm Dave Giancola. Thanks for joining us again to relive another incredible decade of US Opens. It's the 2010s, and Mike, we saw some big names break through in big ways. How about Rory McIlroy, 2011 at Congressional, Jordan Spieth in 2015 at Chambers Bay out in the Pacific Northwest, and Dustin Johnson breaking through in a huge way at Oakmont in 2016.
Yeah, Dave, and DJ's good friend Brooks Koepka captured the title the following year at Erin Hills and proved it was no fluke by backing it up with a win at Shinnecock, making him the first player to successfully defend his title in almost 30 years. And Dave, he almost won a third in a row, but Gary Woodland proved his mettle, winning his first major by outlasting the reigning champ.
It was a decade that started and ended at Pebble Beach out in Monterey. Here it is, the 2010s.
Graham McDowell to get himself one clear of Ernie Els. Runs it right in.
Well, that's a 5-iron. Backed off at once and stayed with the 5-iron. It's an awfully good line if it's the right number, Gary.
Yes, it is. This is the best shot we've seen all day, Donnie.
Gotta get past the hole over to the right.
Well, this is a solid shot behind the hole right, it looks like.
That's very nicely done. Perfectly done.
2 putts from there to win what he's been dreaming about for a long, long time. And Graham McDowell's dream has come true. From Northern Ireland, he's a U.S. Open champion at Pebble Beach. McIlroy with a chance to go birdie to close out his opening 9, and it tips in.
His second shot on the short par 4 8th. And at first glance, a little long. Uh-oh. Here it comes. Back, 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 back. Is it the neck of the Northerners? Perhaps not. Not the way Rory is playing. 10 under, and he hasn't even played a round and a half yet. Should move pretty hard to the right.
Yeah,
How about this? Oh, there's a little of that attitude.
The strike seemed good.
Look at him.
Oh, this is a good-looking shot, too, if the distance is right.
Right over the stick. Is it going to come back?
There it comes.
It's got a little momentum. It's got a little momentum to it. Look at this. Look at this. How good are you?
17 under.
You know, that we have seen an amazing amount of great shots this Open.
Ready to go. 134. That's a wedge. This is right at it, too.
Oh, catch that down slope.
How about this?
Oh, man. Got to get up over this hill.
And it does it
That's a great shot. That's a great putt. Not just a good putt, but a great putt. I mean, that's a crazy good putt, Roger.
Another U.S. Open champion from Northern Ireland. An unreal performance from Rory McIlroy, the 2011 United States Open champion. Second for Webb Simpson at the 412-yard par 4. Simpson tied for second with a group at +2.
It's a scary looking hole location right behind that deep bunker. And he says, no problem. Best shot we've seen.
Is there room for another Simpson on a U.S. Open championship trophy at Olympic? Scott Simpson, the winner at 87, and Webb has just moved to within 1.
He's got enough speed.
That could be a defining moment right there. That's a USGA moment.
What a shot.
That to get in the clubhouse as the leader at +1. And there's your leader in the clubhouse. 26-year-old Webb Simpson with a clutch up and down at the 72nd hole.
Pretty good looking shot.
Yeah, he is looking at it like he liked it, and that's about as good as you can do. You don't want to flirt with that front hole location and end up blowing it all, but
Oh, this is going left.
And it buried. I mean, he
It's
just
settled down.
He just fell apart is what it amounts to. At 42 years old, wanting it so badly.
this to keep his hopes alive for a second U.S. Open title in 3 years. And Webb Simpson is the 2012 United States Open champion.
Starting at the center and drawing. If he's got the distance, it's a good shot.
Is it ever a good shot? That was drilled.
That's a good leave right there.
It's going to be a tap-in par for Justin Rose, who has risen to the occasion on this Sunday at Merion. Final round 70.
What a great par that was. That was under pressure. The drive, the second and the third were fantastic.
5 birdies, 5 bogeys, 8 pars for Justin Rose. Now look to the heavens. And you just might speculate that he could be thinking about his dad, Ken.
Well, he's got to work him out to left, but I think it's going to be well short.
It's short.
Going to have to hold that.
He had the right idea.
Justin Rose is soaking up all the history here at Merion. And it looks like he's about to be a part of it.
He's going with the spinner. Driving spinner.
Run it up, walking it up. Justin Rose is a U.S. Open champion at Merion.
To 16. Martin Kaymer second. Boy, just another fantastic golf swing. Very steady over the ball. Not a bad shot either. Wow. Nice. Martin Kaymer for birdie after that wonderful second shot. And one of the few players who has read that putt from behind the hole.
Yeah, Curtis just played the hole textbook. He had a great drive, 6-iron to that point, and the putt rolled with beautiful speed.
Well, that gets him to -4, 2-shot lead. To 16, Martin Kaymer from about 25 feet. Good grief. On a tear.
Yeah, they got a pretty good piece of it. It's pretty solid. Wow, what a shot.
Yes.
What a good shot.
Gary.
Whoa. Closest second shot we've seen all day.
How do you do that out of that groove?
Back to 5 for the eagle.
Got to go a little bit left.
How about that?
Started the day with a 6-shot lead. Appears to have struggled through the first 4 holes, and now the lead is 7. Back to 10 under par.
This is his best finish in 18 majors, and now for par, Martin Kaymer. Just like he did early. Rams it home, and Martin Kaymer is a U.S. Open champion at Pinehurst.
Very impressive.
4 feet of break to his right.
Dustin Johnson.
1 back.
And that was a 6-iron right there.
Corey nobody's got close to this hole. Yeah. Right on top of the shoulder of that bunker. Easily the best shot I've seen since I've been sitting here. Positive stroke there for Johnson.
Hit it, wind. Hit it, wind. Any wind up there, hit it a little bit. Just a little bit. Easy.
What a shot.
Awesome shot.
Yeah, you're right. Awesome shots.
This is on a great line. Beautiful drive.
This is a stunning drive. That is massive.
Right up into that neck. That'll be for birdie. A 1-shot lead at the moment, but the door is open for Dustin Johnson.
Five-iron for Dustin.
Beauty.
Good swing.
They'll have that putt to win it. Well, now there's work for the birdie. Jordan Spieth has won the U.S. Open. It's a 3-putt from Dustin Johnson. And with that, Jordan Spieth has won the first 2 majors of the year.
See if he can make that accelerating stroke he made on the first hole today. That takes some guts. Great putt. There's just a look of determination in his eye right now.
Well, last year he hit the best shot of his life off the 18th tee. And just like Angel Cabrera in 2007, Dustin Johnson pipes it right down the middle. What a gem, Dustin Johnson!
A birdie and 18.
Dustin Johnson will win the U.S. Open.
Get in the hole.
Boy, David, it is all. You can see him trying to bring that ball back to the right.
Hit it good.
Oh my! What a shot! That is amazing. This guy can hit that 3-wood like nobody else.
For a 9-under 63.
Dead center.
History.
Rocked it.
Justin Thomas. A third round 63. And the best single round in U.S. Open history. Give you some highlights for Brooks Koepka, and we go back to the 8th. This for birdie.
Hit a mammoth tee shot, had kind of a short iron and didn't hit a great second, but was able to run this in, Joe, and it was the beginning of things to come. He was being pressured by Harman and Fleetwood. Ricky Fowler was right there at the time. Tenney hit it on the back of the green and hit his first putt all the way down to there, and it was his only bogey on the back 9 all week.
He goes back into a tie with Brian Harman, now at 12 for par.
Pretty big putt there as well. That was for 2-putt after he missed about a 10-footer.
Keeps him tied with Harman now at 13.
Well, he missed his tee shot. He faded it off to the right in the closely mown. Hit a beautiful little delicate chip shot and had that little slider down the hill from 9 feet.
He put his power on display at the 14th, Brad, into the wind and right to left. He hit 3-wood off the tee, 3-wood second into the green side bunker. And a wonderful shot using the backstop. Ranked 158th in sand saves this season. But what an up and down this was. That putt was dreadfully fast.
Now at 15 for birdie.
Well, he hit an unbelievable iron shot from well back from where the rest of the field was. Got it past pin high, and that was the icing on the cake right there. Hardest hole on the golf course today. A full stroke harder than it was yesterday, and Koepka makes it 3.
But he wasn't finished. Now 16.
Yeah, he had a terrific 9-iron right over the flag. Pours it right in the center. That blast went off in Brian Harman's ears. He was just over the hill at 15.
Had a chance at history when he went to the 18th. A birdie for an all-time record 17 under par, but he taps that in for his par. And a win here at Erin Hills. Just a brilliant round, and he took it by the throat. We'll give you some of the highlights today. What a round for Tommy Fleetwood. I mean, you just can't say enough. That for birdie at 14. It's to 3 over for the championship. Here he is at 15 for birdie.
He was part of the group that we included as the potential or the most explosive players. And boy, did he explode today with the 7 under par 63. He hit such a nice shot here to the last. They misread this putt. They wanted it inside the hole. He started it inside the hole, and it wasn't enough break.
He told Shane O'Donoghue he was aware of the history that was out there for him. That close to the first 62 in U.S. Open history. He has to settle for the 6th 63. Patrick Reed just on fire to start his day. Here he is at the 5th for birdie. He's feeling it.
He came out of there like a rodeo bull.
Here he is at 7 for birdie.
This was a great putt, a little sidewinder.
That's his 5th birdie through the first 7 holes on Sunday at the U.S. Open.
He hit every shot pin high, Joe, and kept hitting them inside 10 feet, inside 6 feet, inside 3 feet. It was one after another, and it looked like the Masters champion was going to get after it all the way to the end, but it didn't happen. Dustin Johnson lost his touch, lost his feel at some point during the round yesterday.
and was not able to get it back today.
That was him for par at the 7th. He misses it, goes to 3 over. Here he is at 15 for birdie.
Now, this was a must make, and it felt like maybe he took the lid off here, but it just wasn't meant to be for Dustin Johnson. He's only going to lose this championship by 2 shots, and he just couldn't putt it in the ocean the last 2 days.
But the story of the day and in the end of the week, Brooks Koepka, the champion. You go back to the tough par 3 second, his tee shot.
Incredibly tough hole, 3rd most difficult all week.
He had just missed a short birdie putt on 1. And after sticking it close, he makes birdie to get to 2 over. Now here he is at 12 for par.
Joe, when you're stacked in there with 4 guys tied for the lead, it really is a race to see who can get the most comfortable, the fastest. And Brooks Koepka showed that he was pretty comfortable physically and mentally.
How about this shot? 3rd shot, the par 5 16th.
This was the shot of the championship, I feel, for Brooks Koepka. Nobody got it back there today in the last 3 hours that we watched, except Brooks Koepka.
It turned out to be a big shot because he made birdie to get to even and extend his lead. And now here at 18.
Well, after an excruciating wait in the fairway, he tugged it way to the left, got a pretty good break off the grandstands, 2 putts to win. And he just giggled that right up there, no problem.
We tap that in for bogey. And with that, even though not official at that particular moment, he wins back-to-back US Open championships. And we'll revisit some earlier action from this US Open championship. It's presented by Rolex.
Well, it was never going to be easy for Gary Woodland. He had the number 1 player in the world, the number 3 player in the world, and the number 4 player in the world right on his heels today.
That's him at 4. His 2nd shot put it close, made birdie. Now, here's our champion, Gary Woodland. After Koepka did that at 4, Woodland was playing behind him at 3. His 2nd shot, brilliant.
One of the most impressive things is the way he came out of the gate. He had to sleep on that lead, and we all know, all of us that have played this game know that one night's sleep can change everything. But today, Woodland kept himself composed, as did Koepka. He really put the squeeze on his good friend Gary Woodland.
That for birdie at the 5th. His 3rd straight birdie. Could not have started any better. Now at 14. How about this 2nd shot?
This was a courageous shot. I thought it might be the shot of the tournament. And it may have been, because as he said, this gave me a little cushion. He was able to hit irons the rest of the way in off the tee.
Able to get that up and down, made birdie at the par 5. Here he is at 17.
And I think this ended up really being the shot of the tournament. Anything could have happened here. He kicked it in there, gimme. To go to that 18th tee with a 2-shot lead was huge, Joe.
And now, why not finish it off in style to get to 13 under for the week for birdie at the par 5. Exclamation point at the end of the week at Pebble Beach. His parents proud of their 35-year-old son. The U.S. Open has been held here at Pebble Beach in 72, 82, 92, 2000, 2010, now 2019. And that sweet moment for Gary Woodland hoisting the trophy